really do. You're a 21-year-old punk fucking kid. Grandpa's given you everything all your fucking life. You've never had a car payment, a house payment. Everything you live in was given to you by Grandpa. You fucking don't know what it's like to work for a fucking living like I do, to bust my fucking ass and do what I do. And you know what, Sean? You fucked me, and that's the way you got it. But you know what? Your grandpa's money will run out someday, and you'll have to feast for yourself. Get a fucking job, you piece of shit.
Welcome to Behind the Smoke podcast. My name is Sean Walchef from Cali Comfort, and I am here with my man, Derek Marceau.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing today, Derek?
Doing good as always, man. It's a pleasure to be here again, and exciting to be back at 8911. It's our third one here.
Third one here. We're waiting for you to get that podcast studio back up.
Back up and running.
Butcher Shop podcast studio needs to get back up and running.
It will next week. But then you're going to have a kid, and then
I will have a child, and I don't know if I'm going
to be sleeping at all.
I'm not going to be podcasting with a child.
No, I don't think you will be. I don't think Rosie would appreciate that.
No.
I think it's frowned upon, but you can try.
I could try. I won't try.
How many days are you going to take off?
Off?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know what that means.
I was at 1 day in the hospital.
1 day in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And then I was back at work.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. How did your wife let you do that?
Frowned upon.
Frowned upon.
To say the least.
It was frowned upon.
I doubled it for my second child.
Oh, you went 2 days?
2 days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
2 days. And you didn't take any phone calls for the shop?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
My phone was off. And no, we actually were doing construction, so I had to come back. We're putting all the new coolers for Dalton.
Are you always in construction?
Always.
Yeah.
We're always doing something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
Can't
how you improve.
Yeah.
So we have an amazing opportunity today to interview a whale.
It is a white whale.
We are just these little fish, and because of barbecue, we are so lucky to have met this all-star. This gentleman runs the Mar Thoroughbred Club.
The Del Mar.
The sexiest place on earth in the summer. For those that don't know, Craig Dado, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer for the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, is so kind to come out to East County and find your way to hang out with a couple of pieces of shit.
Well, I heard there was a free lunch in it at Cali Comfort.
Oh, yeah.
There's always something free.
Craig knows about the tri-tip, so.
Can I say something first? I'm very intimidated by the opening of the show.
Oh, come on, Craig.
Yeah,
you're telling me no one's talked to you like that in the Turf Club?
You've never got a voicemail like that?
You haven't gotten something like that?
Remind me not to cross Sean.
Yes.
I don't want to get that call.
Yeah, no. Well, I you know what? In business, I found out when I was young, and I continue to find out to this day, that you got to find people that you trust, and you got to find people that are accountable. And those things come not through words, but through actions. I guess maybe you can give a little background of how you and I met and how we even got you to here.
Our friend Ari Siegel.
Ari Siegel.
I don't know if you've had him on the show yet, but
Not yet.
Ari was running the Gulls when the Gulls came back to San Diego, and he and I are buds, and you do a lot of work at the sports arena, so you got to know Ari well.
I got to know Ari and Ernie Hahn.
Ernie Hahn, a good friend. And Ari said, Craig, you need to meet Sean. So he got us together, and right away I liked what I saw, had lunch here at Cali Comfort, which is always amazing, and I said, all right, we got to do some stuff together. What do you think about a barbecue festival?
Yeah.
And your eyes lit up and said, yeah, I think I can pull that off. You brought in Derek.
Game on.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. You brought in Gene.
Yep.
I mean, your contacts with the barbecue world are unbelievable. So
well, they're all because of Gene. I'm a San Diego kid. I wouldn't be in barbecue if it wasn't for Gene Goycochea. That's for sure. I mean, sports entertainment was my drive to opening up a restaurant. And that's, the things that I love to do, and getting involved in different aspects of sports entertainment. And you know what? That's kind of how you got involved with the Del Mar. Tell us, how did you become the Craig Dado that runs? I mean, if you see Craig, what happens when we go up to the track?
Celebrity.
Like on opening day when Craig's on. I mean, you're talking about Bruno Mars. You're like, Craig.
Yeah, I mean,
Selfie, Craig, over here.
No, it's impressive.
The difference is they don't admire me; they just want something from me.
Come on, this humble man.
Yeah,
No.
You'd be surprised how my phone stops ringing after opening day.
Scott Kaplan will call it like it is. He'll say how it really goes down up at the track.
It's very lonely for me in February. Nobody knows me.
Well, either way, we do have some amazing news for San Diego. I mean, it's not news because we know it's going down, but tell us more about the Breeders' Cup.
So the Breeders' Cup started in the 1980s, and it is I call it the Olympics of horse racing, in that it's not one race like the Kentucky Derby. It's 13 championship races, 13 world championships. And when I say world, I really mean it. They get horses from 13 different countries to come over. So you got the champion from France, England, Ireland, Dubai, what have you, coming to race against the champions from Florida, Kentucky, Illinois, California, what have you. So it's a lot of horses that would otherwise never race each other in every category of race. That's why there's 13 races. You've got short races, long races, grass races, dirt races, boy races, girl races, 2-year-old races, whatever it is. So 13 world championships. We've never had it at Del Mar before, for the simple reason that our turf course was too narrow. The Breeders' Cup mandates that 14 horses need to be able to run in each race, and our turf course could only handle 10. It was too narrow. So we spent, three years ago, we spent $5 million and widened it, which made us eligible. So we went and made our pitch to the Breeders' Cup, and sure enough, we got it. So it's going to be this fall, November 3rd and 4th. And I can tell you right now from ticket sales, over 70% of the people who are coming are from outside Southern California. This is a truly international event. Yeah, so it's going to be we think $100 million economic impact for San Diego County. It's going to be amazing, and we're going to have
$100 million.
Over $100 million.
And what better place, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Del Mar sells itself. It is the sexiest place on earth. But what you've been able to do with branding and bringing
that's
horse
been huge.
racing,
you can see the difference.
Growing up in San Diego, I mean, we lived it. I mean, we lived it, and we watched the transformation of the track.
I went growing up with my grandpa and my cousin, and my cousin does handicapping now. But
who's that?
Kevin McFarland.
Oh, yeah. I heard he's a big dog. And
he is. He just won the Kentucky Derby Classic, and
I heard there's a great video out.
There is one of him celebrating with his friends, but yeah, just go. We grew up there, but just I can see in the time Craig's come how much it's progressed. And you're trying to get out there more and do things, and you have to try to be relative to the groups you want to come in and try and speak to them and have them, become vested in what you're doing.
Isn't that what happens in business? I mean, for us,
just business in general.
For us coming to Spring Valley, we had to do something that was different in Spring Valley to get even to the point where we would be talking to someone like Craig. So, what Craig has done? I mean, you got to the track in 2000?
2001.
2001. And what was your position when you were in there?
I was vice president of marketing.
Vice president of marketing.
And Joe Harper, who's the president, my boss, he gave me all the rope I wanted. And I went to him and I said, look, Del Mar is a wonderful track. It always will be. But if you really want to grow it, we got to rebrand it. We got to change it. We got to be more than just horses running in circles. We need to be cool. We need to be sexy. We need to attract a younger demographic. We need to attract more women. And he said, have at it. So,
that's great.
Our concert series is our food events, like your barbecue event, reggae festival, all kinds of different things. We're getting a younger, hipper, more mainstream audience to the track for events other than horse racing, and then we're exposing them to horse racing, hoping they'll become lifelong fans.
So there's a lot of beautiful hats.
Beautiful hats.
Too.
Well,
is that what it is? The hats?
The hats.
It's not who's wearing the hat?
Right. No, I got to look for the hats.
Yeah. I mean, we are blessed. We're in San Diego. We're literally right on the beach. We have a short meet in the summer, right in the middle of the summer, in this outgoing community of San Diego where, let's face it, people look good in this community.
Absolutely.
And they spend a lot of money to look good.
Absolutely.
And they want to get out and show it off. So we decided to play the sex card, so to speak.
Right.
And it's been great to watch the growth at the racetrack. And now, we often joke on opening day, do we even need to bother running races?
That's true. There's a lot of people don't even know there were horses that were racing.
Right. So,
but you've created an experience. For
a lifestyle.
For a sports venue you have to find ways to drive people to a facility, and you have a beautiful facility, but what's going to bring somebody in, right?
Absolutely right. So again, our core business is horse racing. We know that, but you don't see horses in our advertising.
Correct.
It's all about beautiful women and the scene and see and be seen and people watching and cool. It's a cool place to go. Have a Del Margarita. Go see a concert. Come to the races. So it's wonderful. But I tell you what, getting the Breeders' Cup for the first time is really the feather in our cap that we've been waiting for.
And how long has this been planned out?
Through about 3 years. Yeah.
At least 3 years, right?
Yeah, right when we got the new turf course put in that was wide enough, then we went to work on trying to lure the Breeders' Cup to San Diego. So now that they're coming, the goal is to get them back again.
Yes.
So that week is going to be really important that we not only make plenty of money for the Breeders' Cup, which we will do because we're already basically sold out. They're going to make a ton of money. The second part is, do we give them a good experience? Right. And come on, with the hotels and the restaurants and the weather and the beach and everything we have to offer, I think they're going to be blown away.
So now for the Breeders' Cup, it's a separate entity, right, than Del Mar Thoroughbred Club? So they
Absolutely.
actually come in, kind of like MLB All-Star Game, they come in and they run their crew with Padres assistants, kind of the same deal?
Exactly the same deal. Now, the difference is that the head of the Breeders' Cup used to be the head of Del Mar, a guy named Craig Fravel. So he knows us at Del Mar very well, and he's letting us play a major role in it. He has a great staff.
That's great.
People to work with, but we're very, very involved.
Where's the Breeders' Cup been the last few years?
Last year it was at Santa Anita up in LA. The year before that it was in Keeneland in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. So right there, compare Del Mar to those two cities.
That's what I was getting at.
Arcadia, California, and Lexington, Kentucky. You had a lot of, when they were in Lexington, they did a wonderful job, by the way. It was an amazing, amazing Breeders' Cup. But you had a lot of really, really rich people staying in Comfort Inns.
Yes.
You think of the hotels we have here.
Sure.
The La Berge, the Grand, the Lodge Torrey Pines. It goes
and
on
they just keep
on.
popping up too.
Absolutely.
Some beautiful
Rancho Valencia. I mean, all of them.
Rancho, I'm sure, will be sold out right by the track. So yeah, we think that people are going to be blown away. It's just kind of my job not to screw it up.
There you go. It's a big job though. It's definitely a big job.
So what else is happening around the Breeders' Cup? Because what sports entertainment has done across multiple sports is they've gone into not just one event where they make it, just the NBA awards the other night, they've made it something so that fans can participate, media can participate, players, their family can participate, and there's festivities, there's music, there's concerts around the event itself.
So we put something together called the Breeders' Cup Festival. It's going to start the Saturday before Breeders' Cup, and it's going to kick off with a 5K run on the beach.
Nice.
We're doing it in conjunction with Jake's there in Del Mar.
Have they ever done a 5K on the
They've
beach?
done it for many years, but now
really?
it's no longer going to be the Jake's 5K. It's going to be the Breeders' Cup
Rad.
Jake's 5K.
Nice.
So
Jake's just went through renovation, right? A few years ago.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're doing a run. We're doing a golf tournament at Torrey Pines, another golf tournament at Rancho Santa Fe Country Club. We're doing music events at the Belly Up all week. We've got a Taste of San Diego event there in Del Mar. We've got about 23 events in total. We even have a poker tournament at Ocean's 11.
And golf and poker, you're
right?
speaking my language.
There you go.
I mean, the bottom line is when people come in from all over the world, we want them to come in early. Don't come in Thursday for a Friday, Saturday event at the track. Come in Monday. We got plenty of things for you to do.
No, absolutely.
And then once they get here, we just want to show them a great time. So when they leave on Sunday, they look at each other and say, wow, why don't they have that Breeders' Cup there every year?
So talk about the celebrity status, all the ambassadors that are really out. I mean, it's something really cool that you guys do already. The star power that you've been able to bring to the track. I mean, it's pretty much a who's who of who's in Hollywood or who's, in the NFL. They're all coming out to the track.
Everyone comes out.
Especially for the Breeders' Cup. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
So the Breeders' Cup team puts a lot of emphasis into celebrities. Kate Upton is a regular. Elizabeth Banks, Pierce Brosnan, of course, Jim Rome, who's won 2 Breeders' Cup races. I mean, the list is very long of the celebrities they're going to be bringing out. And but I want to add a bunch of San Diego celebrities. I want Bill Walton to be around.
Yes.
I want Trevor Hoffman to be around. I want Steve Fisher and Marshall Falk and Tony Hawk and you name it. So we've been doing what we can to talk to those guys to get them to come out. They've all been very receptive, and we need to have a San Diego flair to this.
I agree completely, and I'm happy that you're doing that because San Diego, I mean, we just talked, yesterday with Shane Walton, who was a walk-on to Notre Dame. He went there on a soccer scholarship and ended up being one of the best defensive players in all of college football in 2002 on Notre Dame's run. But there's so many athletes in San Diego that, now losing the Hall of Champions, we need to find a way to celebrate San Diego. And I think you guys actually are going to be doing something pretty cool.
We really are. We're really excited about it, and the mayor's behind it. The tourism authority's been behind it. The city of Del Mar's been great. So it's been a wonderful event to have everybody come together. And again, I hope we can just get in the short list, get in the rotation. Let's get it every 2-3 years.
Nice. So there isn't a set. There's a board of directors that they make these decisions every year on venue.
Absolutely right. Sometimes they'll commit 2-3 years out. For instance, next year they already know that it's going to Churchill Downs in Louisville. But 19 they haven't announced yet.
Are there any other tracks?
Can you do them consecutive years?
You could. I don't think they'd give it to us consecutively until we did it once.
Sure.
So this is a big test, right? Other tracks where they've held it include Lone Star Park in Texas. They've actually even done it in Canada at Woodbine. They've done it at the Belmont in New York. They've done it at Gulfstream Park in Florida. So they've been to many, many tracks. But let's be honest. First week in November, they're scared to death of the weather in the Northeast.
No, absolutely.
November in San Diego is pretty
beautiful.
nice.
Yeah.
It's about as nice as you can get.
Yeah, they can't have major rain or it could snow in Kentucky in November, right?
Yeah.
So they need to have it in Kentucky every few years for political reasons. That's where they're based. That's where most of the breeders are. Yeah. But I think they're scared to death every year they do it.
Yeah. Are there other tracks worldwide that have hosted the Breeders' Cup?
They've gone to Canada, but they haven't gone overseas. I know they talk about it because there's so much participation from over there, but they haven't gone there yet.
But there's horse owners all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah, and they'll be coming out to Del Mar.
I would say that Palomar Airport will have more jets there in the history of that airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's
We're
really
excited.
exciting.
We're excited just to be in Del Mar again ourselves this year at August 20th for our KCBS event.
KCBS event. We already have 42 teams signed up, which is almost, we had 51 last year. So we're already at 42 and we're, 50 days away from that date, August 20th. And that's going to be following up August 19th, which is
the Pacific Classic,
yes,
hopefully featuring Airgate, the top horse in the world, has said that he's pointing to run that race.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's going to run on July 22nd on opening Saturday as well as a prep for the Pacific Classic.
So how do horses, how does that process work?
The trainer generally decides. Oftentimes the owner can get involved, but in this case the trainer is Bob Baffert and he's calling the shots.
Okay.
And the ultimate goal is the Breeders' Cup. The Breeders' Cup Classic for him, which will be on the 4th of November. So why ship around the country for your prep races when the big race is here at Del Mar? So if you think about it, if he's going to run July 22nd as a prep for the Pacific Classic, and then on August 19th in the Pacific Classic, and then onto the Breeders' Cup, his next 3 races are going to be at Del Mar, which is amazing. I mean, he is head and shoulders the best horse in the world. Right. Nobody would argue that. So we're really excited to have him. Our biggest fear, to be honest with you, is how many horses will enter to run against him.
Right.
Because he's pretty intimidating.
But what about when American Pharoah ran?
American Pharoah never ran at Del Mar. He ran there early in his career, but once he was a champion.
Breeders' Cup.
The Breeders' Cup's always going to get a full field because the purse money's so high. It's a $6 million race. So second place pays a heck of a lot of money. So it's $1.2 million to second. But for our race on July 22nd is the San Diego Handicap, which is $300,000. We're hoping that 5 or 6 others dare to take him on, but you never know. He's intimidating.
Sure. So how about what happens, kind of one of the things that we like to focus on for entrepreneurs, people that are in business, are the things that go wrong. I guess, it's always easy to see this sexy photo of Del Mar, the hats. And you had 45,000 people on opening day. You're crushing it. You guys are leading the industry and the revival of horse racing. But what about? Let us know something.
I can't imagine it was easy to get from the demographic of like my grandpa and everyone going to the young.
Well, to have somebody like Joe Harper that would give you the rope that he gave you to build what you guys have built. I mean that says a lot of trust in him, in your performance, but also, I'm sure there was a lot of old ways of thinking that you had to go up against.
First of all, Joe Harper comes from a Hollywood family. His grandfather was Cecil B. DeMille.
Okay.
So Joe is all about entertainment and putting on a show. So it took almost no time to convince Joe. He was in. However, to your point, the old school, the older males who, have been the stereotypical fan of horse racing over the years, when we first rolled out this new brand, there were some detractors, some people who weren't into it. And I I remember I got a suggestion box card that I have framed in my office.
Nice.
That said, so the first commercial we made when we changed it was models on a runway, all wearing our blue and gold diamonds, and it was kind of through the era.
What year was this?
This was in 2002, I guess.
Okay.
Right when I had arrived, and it was beautiful women, supposed to be kind of in the turf club, but kind of on a runway model, kind of imaginary, but starting in the 40s, black and white, going to like the disco 70s into modern day, and it would basically said styles change, but Del Mar's cool as ever, and it wasn't meant for the old school horse racing guys. Those guys are coming anyway, and frankly, I can communicate to them via database marketing tactics because I know their email addresses and their physical addresses. So this ad ran, and a lot of people loved it, but I got this suggestion card from this old guy, and he said something like, "What's up with those elitist fashion show commercials? Did your PR what the heck does that have to do with promoting horse racing? Did your PR people die?"
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And to me, that was a great compliment.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, we're shaking it up. So it's in a frame on my
That's
wall.
fantastic.
Well, you're never going to make everybody happy.
No.
In every business, you have to find your demographic and know who's going to come and support you and really speak to that demographic. So you can't.
Well, it's not only that; it's opening up to a new demographic. I mean, you have to. I mean, industries have to be
just the
willing to
demographic that
change.
you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you went to go focus on the millennial, 18 to what, 35, 45.
God, I'm no longer in the demo. That's so scary.
Well, we were just talking about all the players that Shane and Derek they all played with. They're all retired except for like two.
Yeah, there's like very few. We had
two guys.
Terrence Newman, who's like 90.
He's like 90
he's
years
the oldest
old.
corner in football right now.
Unbelievable.
I think he's 40.
His longevity is
I
unbelievable.
think he's 40. Darren Sproles, he's got his last season. I talked to him not too long ago, and he was. I don't know if I should. I don't know if it's come out yet, but this is going to be his last season. And I think Carson Palmer.
Yeah,
I played against him at
right.
USC. There's just not very many anymore. It's like you just think you're that person, and it's like you're not anymore. You're.
Yeah, but then you become Craig. Craig.
I'm waiting.
Craig is Craig.
Yeah.
No,
it's funny to look back. We had a letter that came in the mail a few years ago, and it was inviting me back to my alma mater at Kansas State and saying, "We want you and your wife to come out and fly you out here." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. Maybe they want to just, take care of us and fly us out there." I haven't been. One of my best friends passed away, and that's the only time I'd been back. And she's like, "Well, you know what that is, right?" And I'm like, "Well, no." She's like, "Well, this was in 2013." She's like, "That's a 10-year reunion for when you guys won the Big 12 championship." I'm like, "You got to be fucking kidding me. Like, there's no way that was 10 years ago."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It was 10 years ago. I thought they were just trying to be nice to me. Invite me back now. They invited the whole team back.
So what's the push now? I mean, you guys are successful and you still face challenges, just like every industry. I mean, we talk about for restaurants, the minimum wage impacts us significantly because of no tip credit. But, horse racing, you guys have big things that you have to deal with. Where's your focus at? Outside of, Breeders' Cup and opening day.
Right. The industry as a whole is very much challenged. Once upon a time, if you wanted to make a legal bet in California, the only way you could do it was at the racetrack. Now, between the lottery and online poker and Vegas right over the border and fantasy football and everything else, we're one of many ways people can get action.
Yes.
So it's a challenge. So we do everything we can, as I explained earlier, to broaden the entertainment offering. And we have a new idea. I want to segue to your football talk here a little bit that we're doing this year around the Chargers.
Great.
And we realize this is somewhat controversial, but we thought it needed to be done. So
we're very controversial with the Chargers.
It's
It's totally cool.
I realize that.
we have people that are boycotting Spring Valley because we're sellouts. So
Yeah.
So I felt like the Chargers left. We're all very upset. They're gone. But did anybody really sit? Was there ever a goodbye? Was there ever like a celebration of the?
Oh, we got a fucking letter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was it 56 years or something? I mean, this just can't just go. So I went to 1090 Radio, Scott
Mighty
Kaplan
1090.
station, the Mighty 1090. I went to the boss there, Mike Lickenhouse.
Oh, I thought you said Scott was the boss.
Well, he might be. And I said, come on, let's do something. We'll do something at Del Mar. You'll help promote it. What do you think? And he said, let's talk to Hank Bauer. Hank Bauer was a player. He was a coach. He was a broadcaster. He's got his finger on the pulse of Chargers and Charger fans probably as well as anybody. Mentioned it to Hank. Didn't even finish the first sentence, and he was like, I love it. I'm in. And basically the way he said we're just going to have a party for the players. We're going to invite anybody who ever played for the Chargers, Derek Marzo included.
Yep.
Anybody who's in the front office, anybody, any trainer, anybody, they're all come. Let's have a celebration party. This isn't about politics. This isn't about whether or not you like Dean Spanos. This isn't about LA. This is about the players. And I said, all right, I like it. Talked to Vince Glenn as well.
Nice.
He said, I love it. And I said, so let's do this. It's the fans thanking the players for 56 years. And Hank and Vince turned it around on me. They said, no, this is the players thanking the fans.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So
Nice.
if you're angry about Chargers, and I don't blame you if you are you really going to be mad about Charlie Joyner and Sam Osgood saying thank you to the fans?
No.
What's there
you
to be
shouldn't
angry about?
Well, people are pissed off all the time, no matter
Right.
what.
Yeah, they're gonna find a
we
reason
can't
to be bad.
control how people think, but I think there's such a strong base of people that, had amazing memories, whether they were winning or losing, whatever happened. We talk about when we're tailgating, my wife and I, we watch children grow up in the parking lot. We were looking forward to having our son tailgate, at the Q, not at the Q, but maybe a sexier stadium like downtown, which is what we were pushing for. But, there are people here in San Diego that will be very excited about this event.
I think the way he just presented it, though, you're going to get way more people that want to turn out to that, because it's not just about, it's about giving back, the players wanting to say thank you to the fans, and you can find a common ground. Okay, put it aside that they went to LA, but everyone can kind of come together for this one event and say, hey, it was a good run.
It was a good run.
We enjoyed it, and that's actually pretty cool.
So the way it's going to go down is we're going to organize the players by decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way through the teens, the 2000 teens. So there's 6 different decades. So we're going to name a race after every decade. So the first race, we'll have the Chargers from the 60s down there. Lance Allworth, Speedy Duncan,
Nice.
all those guys. And to be honest with you, the response is highest from the Chargers of the 60s.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
These guys are
That's
into
great.
Was Donnie Masick and Russ Washington in the 60s? I got to call
They're
that.
both on the list. I don't know if they're 70s or 60s. And for guys that go...
Dennis McKnight, I think, was the 70s.
For guys that are in multiple decades, I'll let them pick what decade they think they
Sure.
belong in, of
Right.
course. So we're going to take them down to the winner's circle. Right after the race, before the race, we will introduce them all, let them have a wave. And then maybe there'll be one spokesperson for each decade who can say a few words
That's really
to the
cool.
crowd. And then we run the race. They present the trophy. And then they will go to the Plaza de Mexico, where the big fountain is near the entrance. For half an hour, they will sign autographs and take pictures.
That's very cool.
Then the next decade, we'll replace them.
That's
and we'll
really
do 6
cool.
decades in a row. And, we don't have any announcements yet, but we're working hard to try to get Dan Fouts. We're working hard to try. We got Lance. He's the original
Yeah.
Charger. Trying to get LT. And the response has been wonderful.
I was going to say, I don't think you're going to have a huge problem.
I hope not. I mean, who doesn't
Del
want to thank the
Marcel,
fans?
Del Marcel's itself.
It does. It does.
And then you make it sexy as
That,
ever.
and you're not making it weird.
No,
like,
it's
like
not.
don't make I think that's just genius. Don't make it weird for anybody.
Yeah.
Like you said, put everything aside.
Well, it's one of the things.
Let's just come together, hang out. We had a good run and go from there.
I mean, in business, at the restaurant, we always stay away from religion and politics because it's just positions that you're just not going to win on. It doesn't matter what position you take, you're not going to win on. The positions we do take are on sports. And it doesn't matter if you're a Raiders fan or a Broncos fan or a Chargers fan. I mean, at the end of the day, we love football and we love the experience and we love events like this where you're going to Del Mar where there's horse betting and you can go and experience and be with Chargers that you grew up watching, with your family. It's awesome.
And as a bonus, going back to what we talked about earlier, Charger Day, the 22nd, is the day that Arrogate will be running as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Just
how
a
cool is
huge-
that?
Really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the coolest things about Del Mar. You've given KCBS the opportunity to have barbecue teams that win the grand championship come into that winner's circle and take photos.
Dude, how cool is that?
So cool.
I mean, people were just in awe last year about being able to do that. Where else can you do that? You can't do that anywhere else.
No.
You win a championship at a barbecue, and they take a picture of you, and they're like, "All right, see you later." Like you actually get to go into the winner's circle.
Well, I mean, part of the reason, which is when Craig and I, when we first met, part of the reason is the challenges that you face just to put on the races. Forget about putting on a concert. Forget about putting on opening day. Like you're at your venue, you have so many different entities and so many different things going on. Correct.
Starts
to
with
protect the horses.
A lot of people don't realize we have 2,000 horses there.
Yes.
I mean, that's quite an ordeal to take care of right away. And they all get on the track in the morning.
Yes.
I mean, it's
what time are they on the track?
They start as soon as the sun comes up until about 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and
every morning is an ordeal.
Every morning is an ordeal just to get those horses out there.
Yeah.
How many staff are out there?
On big days, we have as many as over 3,000 staff.
3,000?
Yeah.
That's not Thoroughbred Club. That's Del Mar Fairgrounds, or that's Thoroughbred
well, they're all
clubs?
different. We got three or four different unions. You know, we've got ticket takers, bet takers, parking people.
Wow.
People take care of the horses. I mean, it's a little community.
Yeah. So, I mean, part of when you and we first met and we talked about putting on a Kansas City Barbecue Society event, you know, we were talking about doing it in 2015, and I was like, we can't do it. We just can't. Like, I would love to do it. You know, it's an amazing opportunity, but
though.
We can't promise you that we're going to do what we're going to say we're going to do if we don't have the time to do that. And to do a KCBS event, I mean, we were having the teams load in a day before the event, which is one of the reasons why for Spring Valley it's an amateur event, you know, because we can only shut down the street for 12 hours.
Yeah, we can't do it 2 days.
Yeah.
Old Troy Street needs to be run. Needs
Old
to be going.
Troy Street, absolutely.
Can't lock that Troy Street down for 2 days.
So tell us why horse racing? How did you even get involved? Like, take us back to Craig, back.
Way back. When I was in college, up in the
Where were you born?
I was born up in Sonoma County, a city called Petaluma, up in the wine country.
Sure.
Went to college in Berkeley, and didn't know what the heck to major in, so I majored in business with an emphasis in accounting. My dad was a CPA, so all right. He said, "Look, no matter what you do in life, that'll be a good base." Fair enough. So what job do I get out of college? Well, I'm only hired to go work for an accounting firm. So I go work for Ernst & Young, one of the big firms in San Francisco. Sure. Had a great time for 3 years there, knowing that wasn't what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I had a lot of fun in San Francisco. Realized if I really wanted to change directions, I'd have to go back and get my MBA. So after 3 years in San Francisco, I went to UCLA to get my MBA. And when I got down there, I saw a speaker one day. He was the president of the Angels at the time, Mr. Brown. And he basically said, the key to a happy life is when you can marry your hobby with your job. Instead of having a desk job for IBM and, you know, looking at the clock all day, if you can love your job because it's your hobby, not only will you be better at it because you're into it, but you'll just be a lot happier. So the light bulb went off, and I was always a huge sports fan and played sports all my life. So I was like, all right, I got to get into sports marketing. Well, I came to find that getting a job with the Giants or the Dodgers or the Lakers or the Warriors are downright impossible. You got to know somebody. However, I was a horse racing fan from way back. My grandfather taught me how to read a racing form when I was about 12, so I knew the game. And I met somebody who knew somebody who was basically my job now at Santa Anita back then. This was in the early 90s. So I got an internship at Santa Anita. Loved it because...
Was it a paid internship?
It was. And,
wow, even back then?
Yeah, and... What really worked for me was, okay, I wanted to get into sports marketing, but with all the betting and all the numbers, it fed my accounting side of my brain too. So I just loved it. It was fascinating.
Because you were so successful, that internship, it certainly wasn't paying you what you had been getting.
Oh God, no! It was just to cover costs. I was a student.
You made that conscious decision, right?
Yeah,
because you wanted to do something that you loved.
Right. Well, it was an internship between my first and second year at UCLA.
Okay.
It's a 2-year program.
Okay.
So, and as is the case, oftentimes that internship is where you end up working full time. And so I got a job offer from them right out of UCLA. Fell in love with it. Was at Santa Anita for 10 years. Absolutely loved it. But the whole time I was there, I had my eye on Del Mar, saying, "My God, if Del Mar could be amazing, if you just did this, and everything, Del Mar could be a monster." So sure enough, after 10 years, the head of marketing at Del Mar, this is in 2001, retired. Great guy, Dan Smith. He still works for us in the press box. So Joe Harper and Craig Fable came and asked me if I wanted to move down to Del Mar. And I guess it's not really a great negotiating tactic when you jump over the table and hug them, right, when they mention it. But that's what happened.
I like it, man.
And
so awesome.
I've been here for 16 years now, and I can't imagine working anywhere else at this point. I mean, it just wouldn't be the same. So just loving every day.
That's awesome. So for people that want to get into sports entertainment, you know, what advice would you have that somebody's that's studying and they decide, I mean, I get to do what I love to do, and we've blended barbecue with sports entertainment, and it's given us opportunities to cater for the San Diego Chargers, to cater for the Los Angeles Chargers, to cater for the San Diego Gulls.
Yeah.
You know, we've just had incredible opportunities to put on a professional barbecue contest
Amateur barbecue contest
at the Mar Thoroughbred Club.
Yeah,
I mean,
huge.
you know, if you had told me that back in 2008 that we'd be doing stuff like this, I would have told you you're fucking nuts. I mean, that's just not going to happen. But you know, here we are, and you know, what advice do you think you would tell students?
I would say chase your passion. Don't chase your wallet. Don't settle for the big money job, because life's too short. You got to be happy. You got to be passionate about your job. Like I can tell you are, obviously. And Derek, you with your market too. You guys, it's not your job. It's your life. And in the same way for me at Del Mar, I mean, I'm never not working.
Yeah.
The people I socialize with are guys like you I know from work. You know?
Right.
I mean, so don't end up with a desk job being a lawyer I mean, if you want to be a lawyer and that's your passion, great. But don't do it just because you think it's going to pay well.
Yeah. But you got to love it.
You got to
love all the shitty parts about it too. Because I mean, like we talk about all the time, you know, as a restaurant owner, the restaurant's full. Everyone's like, oh, you know, oh, Sean, it looks great. You know, I see you on Instagram and looks like you and your wife are having a fucking blast. I'm like, yeah, that's what we put on Instagram. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's those sleepless nights and there's things that you have to deal with to run your job and to be effective. If you weren't effective, you wouldn't be in your position.
Oh, believe me, I'm there when the elevator breaks on opening day and when the fire alarm goes off and when your number one better gets in a fist fight with your number two better and they both get kicked out of the track. I've experienced it all. Yeah, not every day is a wonderful day, but you keep smiling and you push forward.
So a lot of the things we like to talk about too is the unsung heroes. I mean, you're always the one that's going to go on TV and talk about the track and tell everybody how sexy it is. But we know from experience the people that work behind the scenes to do what they do and the hours that they put in because they love what they do. But, you know, the show just doesn't happen. So tell us a little bit about the team you got.
Well, I would take it away from my team and say, yeah, the trainers, the Doug O'Neills and the Bob Baffers and such get in the limelight. To me, it's the grooms, the guys that are there taking care of the animals and living with the animals. Those grooms, they live on the backside.
Yep.
We have dorms back there, and they are 24/7 with these horses. These horses are treated like absolute kings and queens. They get fed the best food. They get bathed every day, sometimes twice a day. They get acupuncture. They get...
How much is rent there? I think I need to go.
A little spa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Del Mar prices.
I've often said if I'm going to come back as an animal, I want to be a racehorse.
Yeah, right.
They have such a great life, and then if you're good at it, you get to go be a stud for the rest of your life, right?
Dude,
that's not a bad way to go.
Perfect.
So I think the unsung heroes are the guys on the backside who care and love these horses as much as they do for our entertainment.
And what about on the admin side?
I've got a great crew, guys like Chris Barr and Walker McBride and Claire Crawford. I could go on autopilot if I wanted to. They'd have my back.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that I admire from watching you work is the amount of responsibility you let your team have. You're so involved in everything in the beginning, but then you pull away and you let them do their job.
That's fucking hard. I struggle with it every single day. Like, I just feel like I can just I'll do it. But to be able to say, here, delegate, and then, you know, it's been a struggle for me. I'm getting a lot better at it now.
How did you learn?
I feel like if I get too bogged down in the details, I can't think big picture. Yeah. I can't come up with that next big idea.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I'm involved, but you're right.
Has it always been like that?
I tried to, yeah. I mean, I was probably more involved with every little thing earlier on just because that's how it had always been. But I've realized I need to step away and look at big picture and think of what's the next big thing we need to do. I need to step back and look at research, do research, think. Don't just do. I need time to think. And that's another piece of advice is if you're implementing tactically all day long, you don't have time to think.
True.
So you need to have a great staff to get it done so you can step back and really analyze, all right, what's going on here? What can we do better?
And what kind of other stuff do you do in San Diego that is, you know, sports entertainment related, but not necessarily for horse racing?
I'm on a number of different boards. I'm on the board of the Rancho Santa Fe Foundation, which is a charitable foundation raising money through philanthropy to give to needy causes. I'm on the board of the San Diego Sports Alliance, which used to be the Sports Commission in San Diego. They changed their name. They used to be tied into the Hall of Champions, actually. And their charter is to bring sporting events to San Diego, things like NCAA tournaments and softball championships and
Breeders'
surfing
Cups.
events, Breeders' Cups. These guys were instrumental. Because I'm on their board, I was able to reach out to them and say, help me.
Sure.
And they were able to bring the mayor on. They were able to help us with presentations. They've done a great job.
So some of those things that you've done have put yourself relationships.
Yeah, I've never taken advantage of relationships outside of Del Mar more so than with the Breeders' Cup. Working with the mayor. Why would I ever need to talk to the mayor?
Sure.
But with the Breeders' Cup, that was a part of it. The Tourism Authority downtown, the City Council at Del Mar, I'm being exposed to and working with a much, much broader network of people because of the Breeders' Cup, and I absolutely love it. It's been
That's
great.
only going to help you in the long run, right?
I would think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk about that process and how what you found is good ways to help facilitate things getting done. Because having an idea and executing it and actually getting approval from all the entities that need to approve it are two different things.
Yeah, it was difficult because most of them had heard of the Breeders' Cup but didn't really know what it is. I think most people are like that. Is it a race? No, it's 2 days of races, 13 races.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I wouldn't know unless it was my cousin.
Right?
telling
Sure.
me, yeah.
Right. And to be able to say, look, it's going to be this many hotel room nights, this many people in town eating and drinking and shopping. It's $100 million economic impact. When they heard that number, everybody's eyes opened. And I said, because not only are we doing it in 2017, but if we do a good job and you city leaders are part of that, we can get this back in 2020 and 2023 and going on and on and on and continue to recoup these funds. So it's been a great experience. And I can tell you, everybody from San Diego County and down to Del Mar City Council specifically has been wonderful to work with. Everybody's excited.
Yeah.
So again, I just can't screw it up.
Well,
Let's do it right.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's talk about screw ups because screw ups happen, and unfortunately, most people aren't around. You just have to kind of deal with the press and deal with the stuff that doesn't work out. I know what you've been willing to work with certain entities and certain groups to change the day of opening day, correct?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the difference between what this year we're going to be on a Wednesday, correct?
We are back to a traditional Wednesday.
Why is that?
It had to do with the schedule that the horse racing board in California gives us.
Okay.
It's not like it's a strategic decision. The fair closes on 4th of July, and the fair is that's why we have a fairgrounds. And
Sure.
they're always going to be open on the 4th of July, and they should be. So we need enough time between the end of the fair and our opening day to turn the place over. I mean, you've been to the fair.
Oh yeah.
Well, we know just from experience watching.
We were there. We were
break
living
down
it.
and
Yeah, it's
yeah,
unbelievable.
It's incredible.
So we need 15 days at least. I mean, we've done it in 10 or 11, but to really do it right, make sure the track is ready to go, we decided let's take an extra week. So they close on the 4th. We open on the 19th. We get 15 days to turn it over. And remember that's 2,000 horses come. The track needs to be ready. I mean, there's a big stage in the middle of that track right now.
That also has to do with the safety of the horses, right?
Absolutely
And the safety
right.
of the track.
And safety is our number one concern. So we felt like taking a full 15 days was the right thing to do. So that's why we're back on a Wednesday.
And what were the challenges on a Friday?
Challenges on a Friday were you go from a big Friday into a big Saturday back to back. It's often nice when you open on a Wednesday to have that kind of slower Thursday right after.
Sure.
Everybody can chill out a little bit, get their breath. Because I'll tell you what, when opening day is by far the biggest day of the year, that's quite a shock.
Well, Friday's
Yeah.
going to be busy anyways, right?
Fridays are busy because we have a concert.
So you're kind of
Yeah.
It's better to do it on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Get more revenue.
So we have a giant Wednesday with opening day. Thursday's a little slower, maybe only 10,000 or so, and then Friday's a concert, and Saturday's going to be Chargers and Arrogant. So it's going to be a great opening.
It's going to be a huge opening weekend. That's really exciting. So what about, tell us more about marketing and social, because we talk about that.
That's huge for us
I
now.
mean, you just told
I'm
us.
learning from Sean all the time.
You just told me when you came in that you just watched Derek's fish video, which we talked about on a couple podcasts ago.
Playing with my fish.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is because Derek's been a fisherman his whole life and he's been a butcher his whole life. But, the power of video now with Facebook and with Instagram and the engagement that video gets. I mean, once you see it, my wife started talking about fish. She's like, and she doesn't like fish. All of a sudden she wants halibut because of, a video that he saw and now that you've seen. What are the things that you guys are trying to do on social with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter to get more engagement?
So we use them all. And we split it up to different target audiences. We use it for our, call them the hardcore racing people, to show racing videos and talk about racing subjects. For our concert goers and such, it's all about the music. For our foodies, it's all about things like your barbecue championship or food truck day or whatever. So it's a matter of splitting our audience up and getting the right messages to the right people. But yes, we rely on social media quite a bit now. And it's obviously been a change. 15 years ago, it didn't really exist, and it was all TV and radio and print. And now we've shifted a lot of dollars, a big portion of our dollars, into social media, and it's really paying off. Because you get
analytics.
You get analytics. You get comments right back. What are they concerned about? What do they like? What do they not like? I mean, it's wonderful, and we put a lot of emphasis into that.
Do you remember when Facebook came out? I had it at college, and that's the only way you can get a Facebook account is when you had a college email. So it was like, okay, and I still use my college
That's so
login
funny.
to this day.
When we opened up the restaurant, Corey, who I opened it up, one of my best friends, he had a Facebook account, and I kept giving him shit. I was giving him shit all the time. I was like, "What the fuck are you on Facebook for, dude? Get serious. We're trying to run this business."
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it was like you can use Facebook to market your business. And then I was like, "Fuck, okay." So then I signed up for an account, and then next thing you know, I'm diving deeper and deeper into but it's helped our business grow. It's given awareness to people that haven't been out to Cali Comfort, and they find out about our barbecue. They find out what we're involved in. And
we have that every single day. Someone comes in, they're like, "Oh yeah, our buddy posted your pokey on Facebook, and we're always looking for a good place to have some pokey." And they come in, I see them all the time now. I'm like, I would never have had that customer unless Tracy over in somewhere else posted her lunch, and now everyone's coming in because they the poke is such a big thing now.
Well, the rules of marketing are changing
every day. You got to keep up. That's why I need to continue.
How do you keep up?
Well, continue to hire younger people. Right? I'm becoming a dinosaur here.
Come on, you're no dinosaur.
I'm out of the target demo.
No, sex always sells. Come on now. So let's talk about Scott Kaplan, because Scott is been such a good friend to Cali Comfort and the Mighty 1090 and all that they've done to help us when we were trying to keep the Chargers in town. We started the San Diego Love Letter Challenge, and Scott was more than generous to bring us on. We were on there with Bolt Pride, and we just had a great relationship with Mighty 1090. And I know you guys are good friends. You can say almost good enough for your business partners.
Great friends, right?
Great friends.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Scott and I were introduced to each other about 12 years ago by a friend we had in common who said, "I don't know why, but you two should know each other." I was like, all right. So Scott, I think, thought maybe there might be something in racing that could relate to him as a broadcaster. So
he is always looking at a way to grow his brand, which is smart.
Yeah. So I took him under my wing is not the right way to say, but I showed him the ropes of horse racing.
Sure.
And just made him dangerous enough to make comments that are sometimes insightful and sometimes stupid. But he became a big fan of Del Mar, and it was a place that he loved hanging out. And then after 2 years, he came to me and he said, "Okay, I get the handicapping, I get the gambling, I like it, but I want more. I want to be an owner." And I said, "All right, do you have any money?" He said, "No." And I said, "Well, that's a problem. Do you have any friends that have a lot of money?" He goes, yes. I have a ton of rich friends. And I said, "All right, here's what we'll do. You go recruit them and get their money, and we will form a syndicate. And it'll be all about marketing you and Billy Ray. It'll be the Great Friends Stable. And you guys can talk about it on the radio." Obviously, selfishly, that helps Del Mar, right?
Sure. No, absolutely.
And I said, "I will help you manage it. I will find you a trainer who will not take advantage of you. And you can be this walking, talking billboard for horse ownership. And this is our 11th year with the Great Friends Stable."
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How many
That's
horses?
Cool. I've heard how hard it is to own horses.
Oh my God. I've heard Jim Rome talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell us a little bit about it.
So we get 20 of Scott's friends, and everybody puts in a fairly small amount of money, but together it's a lot of money.
Sure.
And with that, our trainer is Doug O'Neill, who's won the Kentucky Derby 2 of the last 5 years, I believe.
Big time.
Great guy. And one of the reasons we use Doug O'Neill is because he's just such a fun, outgoing, gregarious guy. A lot of trainers aren't going to shake every one of the 20 owners' hands in the paddock before a race, but Doug loves it. Doug invites people to come back to the barn and feed the carrots to the horses. Transparency and just a fun, good guy.
Well, also being appreciative of the people that are paying you.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just old-fashioned business.
There's that. So I work with Doug to help identify and pick out horses. We generally have anywhere between 6 and 8 horses, but it all revolves around Del Mar. Our group doesn't really care about races at Santa Anita or anywhere else. They just want to run at Del Mar. So, for instance, right now we are geared up and ready to go. We have 7 horses right now. We might get one more. And we run them at Del Mar, and these people come out, and they get to go to the walking ring in the paddock before the race. When we win, we go to the winner's circle. Yeah. We have good parties.
That's awesome.
Scott's the face of it. He does all the talking. I'm the guy behind the scenes quietly doing all the work.
There you go. I like that.
But it's been a lot of fun. We've met a lot of great people.
There's still 20 of you?
It changes every year. Yeah, because at the end of Del Mar, I pay everyone off. Here's your money back, whatever's left. And, we've only made money twice out of 11 years, but I tell them, this is not a...
Right. This isn't
right. This is just
so if you don't want to make money, get into restaurants and horse racing.
This is fun, and I can just promise you'll be treated fairly, and I can promise you we will win a few times and we'll have a great fun. But you're not making money doing this,
right?
So they understand, and it's been great.
Tell us about the TV show,
Stable Wars.
Yes.
So that's probably been 5 years now.
Yeah.
Scott came up with an idea of let's do a reality show and let's make it about ownership, like what it means to own a horse. And he said, let's do our stable against kind of our rival stable, which is a guy named Billy Koch, who's a Hollywood kid, great guy, runs a stable called Little Red Feather. And he's a lot like Scott. He's outgoing and talks a lot and, but a good guy, just like Scott. And so Scott said, let's do a reality show of us versus them over 7 weeks at Del Mar. So we got a local guy to fund it. And next thing you know, there's a reality show it was on Fox Sports, local networks all over the country. It was on here, it was on Kentucky, on Ohio, it was all over the place. And it basically just pitted us against them. And we had a little contest about who's going to win more races. And it was an amazing, the way it turned out. We ended up winning on the closing day by one race. And it was all the crazy behind the scenes stuff. And, one thing about Scott, whether he's on the radio or whether he's on TV, he doesn't mind playing the role of the douchebag.
Right. His douche wars on Mighty 1090 are fantastic.
Exactly, right?
It's so funny.
Right. And he doesn't care. He's playing a character.
He embraces it.
Yeah. So it was really a funny, good show. And it had 2 seasons. And then, like most reality shows, it just kind of went away.
How often do horses run?
Horses run in a race about once a month usually. Okay. They work out generally once a week, a timed workout, like a hard workout, but they go to the track and stretch their legs almost every day.
Okay.
But yeah, only once a month on a race. So you're probably only going to be able to race a horse 2, maybe if you're lucky 3 times at Del Mar.
So when you're betting, obviously, when you're handicapping, what would your advice be to rookies when they're coming out to the track?
Bet a lot. Bet as much as
bet a lot and bring a lot of people.
I would say, if I don't have time to sit down and teach you how to read the racing form, I would say look in the program to see who the top trainers are. And every time you see one of their names, circle that horse. And then look and see who the top jockeys are and see who they're riding. Because the way it works is this. Every trainer wants the top jockey, Flavian Pratt or Rafael Bejarano, to ride their horse. So those guys have choices. They can ride any one of 4 or 5 horses, and obviously they want to ride the one that's going to win. Right. So follow the stars. See where the top trainers are. See where the top jockeys are, and if you see some matchups,
make smart bets and don't parlay. And
I said not like my grandma. It was like silver horse, yellow silks.
But let me qualify that. This is Del Mar. Crazy things happen because everybody wants to win at Del Mar. So maybe people don't know the whole thing. And maybe we've been saving this champion horse just for Del Mar, and on paper he doesn't look great, but he really is something. So my advice is, if you have a hunch, play it. Yeah. Weird things happen at Del Mar.
What do you think is the most memorable day that you've had at Del Mar?
I have a good story for you. So this is 2002. Ziggy Marley is playing a Friday night concert. And
this is in the infield?
He was just playing a Friday night back by the Plaza de Mexico.
Okay.
By the fountain,
really?
Back when we were back there. And we have a pick 6 bet. And if nobody hits the pick 6, there's a jackpot that carries over. Well, nobody hit it for 3 days. So the jackpot was absolutely huge. And I'm rooting for it to carry over again. So
Sure.
I'm rooting that nobody hits it, right? So it comes down to the last race, and it's been long shots all day. And we're thinking, oh my God, could this carry again? I mean, they're betting millions of dollars in this. Could someone hit it again? There were 2 horses in the last race that if they won, some person
Someone's
out
gonna
there
win.
would take the whole thing, be the only ticket. So
Wow.
we're rooting in my office with my whole staff for everybody other than
Those
those
two?
two, right? So it's the 1 and the 11, and the 1 is out on the lead, and then he gets tired turning for home, and we're like, oh my God. Out of nowhere, this 11 comes and wins on the wire and hits it. So one guy had the ticket to the pick 6, and it paid $1.4 million.
No way.
So the story
It wasn't Kevin though, right?
Story
It
gets
wasn't
better.
my cousin that time.
Story gets better. So I'm like, damn it. This could have been such a good day. Oh my God. So I said, all right, I got to go to the Ziggy Marley concert. Let's go. On my way, my phone rings, and it's my dad. He hit it.
No, way.
Get
out
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
Holy shit.
My dad up in Petaluma went to the
No
Santa Rosa
way.
Fair,
Holy
and he
shit.
and 2 of his buddies put in a $128 ticket. Totally luck. No idea what the hell they're doing, and they hit it. And he's all freaked out, saying, "Is it okay that I hit it? You work at the track." And I'm all, I
You have to call the legal team.
Of course it's fine. I can't fix the races. So yeah, my dad won the pick 6 for $1.4 million.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a
insane.
fantastic.
I just know how hard pick 6s are to hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the odds of something like that happening are crazy.
That is fantastic. That's so funny.
Petaluma, I've actually been up to Petaluma a few times.
Have you?
Yeah. There's a chicken farm up there that we get our chicken from.
One chicken farm. It used to be the chicken capital of the world. My grandpa was a chicken rancher.
Oh really?
Yeah, how about that?
Petaluma Poultry.
Yeah.
His grandfather would have been happy about that 1.4.
He would have been.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Dude, that's wild.
Unbelievable. So, I mean, Craig, we can't thank you enough to come out here and spend time in Spring Valley. It speaks a lot to your character to actually give someone like me a chance, not knowing who I was, just going off of Ari Siegel. I know Ari's very impressive, but at the end of the day, you had to decide to work with us and give us an opportunity. And our job is to continue to build this Del Mar Barbecue State Championship. And to, what did I tell you when
Make it the sexiest
when we
there is.
met?
What did you tell me?
What was the plan? What was the long-term vision for the
This is going to be the biggest barbecue festival in the
world?
Okay.
Yeah.
All
What do we
right.
want?
Well, here's
Also-
year 2. Here's year 2.
Here's year
We're,
2.
we're trying. We're
And
going.
Everything's low and slow, and the best thing I promised was we're going to be honest, and I think that's why we get along, is because there's shit that happens along the way, and as long as we're accountable and we communicate, we're just so honored with the opportunity.
It's a pleasure working with you guys, and I have one final question.
What's that?
What's for lunch?
Oh, that is a good
good.
question. Gene's just pulling
Slaving
ribs off
away.
the smoker.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
All right.
Let's
All
go
right.
Yeah.
grab some ribs.
We can go grab the ribs. So
Okay.
at Del Mar Racing, that's where all their social handles are. Corey's going to have everything in the show notes, so you can find out more about the Breeders' Cup, buy tickets, and you can also make sure you come out on opening day. I mean, we have people. We're so thankful with this podcast to have people listening from all over the world, and if you're able to come out in the summer and you're able to come and participate in the Del Mar barbecue event, or you're able to be out here, let us know. Send us a message, and we'll set something up, because nothing makes us more excited than I'm always promoting San Diego. San Diego sells itself, but
the Breeders' Cup too, November 3rd and 4th.
Breeders' Cup, make
sure
it
you're
happen.
there.
Yeah,
And then of course,
and then what happens the day after the Breeder Cup? Spring Valley.
the Spring Valley Festival.
Our
Yeah, I was
amateur.
like,
I don't know.
you have another event over there?
I was
Yeah.
going to say
That's when your third child's coming.
the day after Breeders' Cup. That's when I take a nap.
Yeah.
We actually were talking about that. We were saying the week after Del Mar, we have we have to go to LA.
Yeah.
for
We're
something.
doing the podcast movement.
Yeah,
we're doing
podcast movement. I'm like, that's probably when I'm going to wake up.
Yeah.
Because we don't sleep during the Del Mar barbecue.
So, are you tweeting still? Are you not tweeting anymore?
I've never been a big tweeter. I'm
Yeah.
more of a lurker. I read.
lurker.
I read. I just don't have a lot to say.
All right. Well, either way, Del Mar Racing is where you're going to find them, and we can't thank Craig enough.
Craig, thanks again, buddy. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Let's go get some lunch.
Sounds good.
Behind the smoke.